Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about something I saw, which I found very commendable by the president of Ghana. This great man of God, the Ghanaian born preacher, global preacher, Heward-Mills, lost his son. Right? Lost his son a couple of days ago. I actually found out the day he had a crusade that he actually just lost his son, a couple of hours before that crusade. Now, how did I even find out? Let me start the story. I actually, did a tour around Ghana. I wanted to put it on my YouTube channel, and I visited Accra. So I'm coming back. I was going to pass the Independence Square. So when I was getting close to the Independence Square, I was like, oh, because I've visited it. If you watch my videos, you find out I've visited Independence Square before. So I was like, oh, a program actually held here. That was when I now found out that it was Heward-Mills that had a program there. I was like, wow. So I saw the pictures later on social media, the crowd, the people, the impact of the program. Then hours later, I now saw that same person just lost a son. The church official page posted it. And I was shocked to my bone. I was shocked because and this man could still. Then it was later I now started saying that the news, this thing actually happened hours before he had that crusade, and he still went for the crusade and he still acted as though nothing happened. Honestly, that level of courage, that level of, I don't know, that level of commitment to the things of God really shook me. Like wow. And this was Friday. He had a program on Friday. The death of his son happened on Friday. He had a program on Friday. On Saturday, it was officially announced. And on Sunday, I followed his page and I saw this man preaching. He had a live section, like live service. And he was preaching. Wow. I felt, wait, where did this man get this strength from? Where is this strength kind of coming from? Strength to move on, strength to just like, this is for God. Like, I'm not doing it for any man, for God. And I felt, honestly, this man, because this man has blessed my life. I have a lot of his books. I read his books and I see a lot of his publications, very interesting about ministry and all that, about developing yourself as a person and all, so that's why the whole news just made me feel wow. Like, and I saw a lot of people dropping insensitive comments like, how can a pastor not be able to heal his child? Yes, when that person made that, because when that person made that statement in one of these Ghanaian blogs, I actually saw how people came for him. Now, like, please, let's learn to respect and know the kind of things we say to people. People are hurting, and of course, hurting people hurt others, right? But I was like, how can somebody just come up and say certain things or say something like this? Because you're not the one having this situation right now does not mean you don't have challenges in your life. Because somebody is that big or renowned or a global figure does not mean you're not going to go through times of challenges. Let's not always forget this thing. Let us not always forget it, that you're big or everybody has one time of challenge or the other. Let's not always forget that. And a lot of people tend to forget that these men are men. Like, they are men. They have blood running through them. They have feelings. They have emotions. They are human beings like you. The difference is that God called them. And sometimes when I see a lot of people write certain things or say certain insensitive, comments or say certain things about people, I just try to put myself in people's shoes. I'm like, these people saying this thing, have you actually thought about a situation whereby God calls your child and people runs down your child like this? How will you feel? Because today now you're a father, you're a mother, you're just these men of God, all these fake. I'm not disputing the fact that there are fake people out there, but have you actually sat down to think about it, that tomorrow God can call my child though, and people are going to run down my child like this, the way I'm running other people's children down? Because yes, these men of God, they started very young. Now today they are big. But have you actually thought about it that way? Because sometimes people, I even saw somebody go as far as saying, you are healing others in a crusade, you cannot heal your own child. And when I saw that, I was like, is it the one that answers prayers? Is it not God that answers prayers? is to pray. When you pray, God decides to answer when he wants to answer. Even you that say some of these things, are there not prayers you pray to God that you keep praying until God finally answers? Is it immediately you pray that you get answers? So why do you think it should be different for a man of God? Yes, I believe they are working on another level of unction and all. Yes, they're in a covenant and all that and all that. But answering of prayer is God that does that. It is not the man of God that does it. So he can only pray. It is left for God to answer. That's one thing you people don't always understand. And there is a man of God. You know a child of God. He is a man of God. He's like a matured person in you in the area of Christianity. But you that you're a child of God, what stops you from? But the times that you've had, people, have certain issues around you, maybe sick, or even gone to the extent of you prayed. Did anything still happen to that person? And there's something a lot of people don't always understand. Family members, people close to men of God, because of how used they had to them, they are too used to these men of God. Some of the things they pray don't happen in their lives anymore. And I'm going to explain. For example, a man of God is your father. You're looking at him as my daddy, like my biological father. You out there, you're seeing him as a spiritual father. But children, because they grew up with their father, they saw their father as daddy. They saw him in his vulnerabilities. They saw him wearing boxers. They saw him getting angry. They saw him shouting at maybe people living with them. They saw him on the phone talking angrily. Their tendencies, they just look at him as their daddy. My daddy is my daddy. But you on the outside, because you don't see a lot of these things, you refer to him as a pastor or your father, your spiritual father. Now, when you because of how you esteem him, there's certain things you will do that might likely work for you easier than somebody that sees him every day. That's why I come to check ministries. People who live or walk around a lot of men of God, they always have, you'll be looking at them that, are you sure this person is living in church, or are you sure this person is living around a man of God? You can't see the reflection around them. A lot of them don't carry the grace that man of God carries, because they are used to him. It's everywhere. Is everywhere. They are too used to him. They see him every day. So the less you respect, normally, even husband and wife, you see a man that is out there, is a boss out there. The person that least respects him is always the wife. Why? Because she sees him every day. She hears him snore. She sees him when he's weak. She sees him when he's even sick. She's the one that will carry his so and so. Do you understand? This is almost the same way in ministry, like how ministry thing works. So when people just go out there and use certain insensitive words, I just pull myself, like, did this person actually realize that God can actually call you tomorrow, or God can call your child, or God can call somebody around you? How are you going to feel when that person is criticized? How are you going to feel when that person is pulled down? And sometimes people capitalize on their mistakes. Who told you that? No, everybody makes mistake. Like, there's no man on earth that does not make mistake. Yes, the difference is who acknowledges it. As far as they acknowledge their mistakes, and sometimes you are still dwelling in somebody's mistake, the person has moved on. Something you're still criticizing in somebody, the person has moved on. Like, they moved on, but you are still there dwelling in he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. That person has moved on from there. So people who are quick to criticize, please stop it, because sometimes most times people will judge and criticize you. Just throw one shade at them. They can't even stand the criticism they give others. They can't stand the judgmental, things they do to other people. They cannot stand it. They cannot stand. Just give them one. You see them reject. But these are the people who hide under their keypads, and troll others. Never, I keep saying this, never criticize or judge a situation or a challenge you have never faced. If you've not faced it, keep quiet. Because when you criticize and criticize and criticize, you find yourself just walking to it. I've seen that happen a lot of times. You see people judge somebody, maybe you lost somebody, and people just criticize, see them, their faith level is low, and they are not this. And church people, now church people are the worst people. Like, when it comes to judging others, they are the worst at this. They will just wait for them to wait for the same situation to happen to them. They now try to explain their own out. But somebody else went through this same challenge. You ran the person down. It's because they don't know this. It's because they don't do this, it's because they don't do that. Then when the same thing, yes, you've criticized others, now you've walked into that criticism, that thing you criticize others of, you've walked into it, you not try to explain your own, you not try to make people sympathize with you, but you never sympathize with others when they had their own challenge. I don't like to be religious, because religious people are just, they're just this, don't do this, don't do this, stand like this on the altar, don't move around, don't dance, don't move around, this is what I did, this is how it must be, this is the. But me, I prefer to be a spiritual person. I want to be a Christian, not a religious person. And today I've come to realize that religious people were not those people of those days. Or even today, there's still a lot of religious people who judge. They are just being religious. People who they are fixed to a doctrine. They met the doctrine, they are still doing the same thing. If you ask them why they are doing it, they don't know why. Those are religious people. Or they try to now bring up their own religious standard, or in the name of creating standard, you're not that, don't do like this. If you do like this, we won't allow you to do this, we won't allow you to do that. That's being religious. That's not being spiritual. Being spiritual is connecting with your Father, your maker, than any other person in this world. So please, those of you who criticize, pray not to find yourself in that same situation you are criticizing others for. And there's this song that I keep hearing it a lot on Instagram. Black Sheriff is a Ghanaian artist too. He say who never FK, if you understand what I mean, who never FK, hands in the air, no hands. What does that mean? You're a liar. You are judging another person for keeping malice. you are doing something else and you are pointing hand at another person for doing another thing. Please go and sit down. Just go and sit down. So those of you who criticize, mothers, you are criticizing pastors, you're criticizing people today, and I'm not talking about the fake ones. Even the fake ones, leave them. Just leave them. It's not your business. Like, it's not you. You're criticizing them. Wait until God calls your child tomorrow and other people criticize him. Then you know how easy it is to be a pastor, or you know how easy it is to be a man of God. Let's just stop it. And the highlight for me was when the president actually, visited him, and I was like, wow, that just to show that this man is a great man of God here in Ghana. He is. So please, let's stop all this judgmental life, criticizing people. And let me give you a very funny story. There's this lady that comes to church here in Ghana. She comes to church, and because of her small body, I didn't know she was pregnant. Then when she started coming to church, because she saw some guys on dreads, and she was like, church, how can people wearing dreadlocks? Like, it was later I got to hear this story, So she was like, how can people wearing dreads? What are they coming to church to do? Not knowing that the madam herself is pregnant, and she's not married. She's a single girl, like a girl. Pregnancy is there showing now. And that's how people can be so judgmental. Like, you're judging somebody else wearing dreads to church. But you have your own plenty things or you were not stopped from coming to church with your pregnancy, but you want another person to be stopped from coming to church because the person is wearing dreads. That's how hypocritical we can be. That is how hypocritical a lot of us are. You have your own baggages, like you have your baggages, but you now go and pitch your tent on another person's own. Please leave other people. It's not your duty. You're not the one that will answer their prayer. You're not the one that will judge them on the last day or whatever thing. It is God. Allow God to do the judging. It is not meant for you, because a lot of people will have, I can't count. People who criticize the most. People who judge the most. So many things around them are not even so right. It's not right yet. They're going to be pointing on other people's weaknesses. Please, let's learn to leave people alone. So that's a very good example of sinners judging sinners for sinning differently. For lack of a better word, but that's it. You're a sinner, you're judging another sinner for sinning differently. But your own sin, then your own body. If you understand what that means. So please, thank you to the president for actually going on a condolence visit to this great man of God. I actually saw that as a good one. That shows the impact this man has had. And those of you out there quick to criticize, please never judge or criticize a situation you have never found yourself, because some of you, when you find yourself in it, you don't even recover. Not everybody recovers from such. So when you see people strong like that, appreciate them, commend their strength, not pull them down. Because when you are pulled down, when your own trials and tribulation will come, that's when you know how strong you are. So let's stop it. It's not good. Stop criticizing. Stop judging people. because hurting people hurt others. So if this video has been helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye.